A bill to raise the federal minimum wage passed the House, and it's in the Senate now as part of a bill there that includes tax breaks. But what does that mean to small businesses and to you? Joining us now, South Carolina Senator Jim DeMint, a Republican who sits on the Commerce Committee. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you, Edie.
You know, I was actually really surprised when I looked at the latest Labor Department statistics, and I assumed that there were a lot of people that make the minimum wage and would thus be affected by this. In fact, it's 479,000 people in all of America that make the minimum wage. So who are these people? Because I hear, you know, it's impossible for an American family to exist on minimum wage, and it would seem that that's true. But is that what they do?
Well, you won't find anyone supporting a family at $5.15 an hour right now. So all the show in Washington about raising the starting wages is really about raising the starting wage for teenagers and part-time workers, primarily on restaurants and small businesses. And we found in the past when we do that, it really doesn't help the average low-wage worker who is supporting a family. It generally reduces the number of starting jobs that are out there, mostly for young people. And so what we try to do when we pass an increase in this starting wage is to make sure there's some tax relief for small businesses so they'll continue to create jobs. And so that's what the argument is about. Unfortunately, the primary sponsor of this mandate on some states does not want to give any relief to small businesses, and that's what we're fighting about right now.
Now, along with the less than 500,000 people in America that actually make a minimum wage, there are about 1.4 million people who make under minimum wage, and I understand that's because they have jobs that includes tips on the side, so that'd be the waitresses, waiters, that sort of thing. Would they be impacted by this?
Well, there's an exemption for waitresses who get tips, and that's generally not the problem. I think folks who work full-time, those who are making $10, $12 an hour, I mean, they need a lot of support from us, like less expensive health care and really businesses that are doing better so they can pay more. But that's not what this debate is about. I think, unfortunately, again, Senator Kennedy, who's a primary sponsor, he's the one opposing any relief for small businesses, but yet he's asked for an earmark, a pork project in Massachusetts, just for one project that's more expensive than helping small businesses all over the country hire more workers.
Yeah, well, that's a sore topic with me because I used to live in Boston and I had to look at that big dig. I don't know how many billions of dollars have been spent on what is still not complete, but this the tax relief that the Republican senators are asking for small businesses would be $8.3 billion. And as you mentioned, Senator Kennedy is asking for $8.5 billion more for the big dig?
Just for that one project, and workers all over America are paying the taxes for that one project. And we're not asking the government to give small businesses anything. We're just asking the government to not tax these small businesses so much so they can be profitable, so these restaurants and retailers and small businesses can continue to hire primarily young workers to get them started in the workforce. And we wish this debate would be more about helping low-income workers, workers who need better health care, who need more flexibility in their hourly times working with their employers. But unfortunately, the Democrats don't seem to want to talk about the real substance here.
Well, if you're trying to make a career on $7.25 an hour, you've got a long way to go, that's for sure, so they need help elsewhere. It looks like if you get that tax break, though, for small businesses, this thing comes through the Senate, correct?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we all want to do more to help even starting wage workers, but as part of this debate, we hope we can help a lot more than just a few thousand people who are primarily teenagers.
Okay, and that raise would take effect over a 2-year period.
That's right.
Senator DeMint, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, Edie.
Okay.